Welcome to Melee Stats Deep Dives, episode 13 or so. And, as the opening song says, it is electric. With Axe winning Smash Summit 8 this weekend, we have seen the biggest major won by a character with lightning effects on their moves. Oh wait, I guess there's Captain Falcon with the knee. Well, yeah. Without Wizzy winning that, it would have been the biggest one. And I just want to say that I did predict Axe winning Smash Summit. A prediction that was so bold of me. People thought that I was crazy. But here I am, just proving everyone that I'm correct.
What did you post this prediction publicly?
I have posted it on the Melee Stats Deep Dives episode 12, which I'm glad to know that you are apparently not a fan enough to listen to that.
I didn't catch that one.
Okay, all right, that's fine. Just let's get back into my intro. I'm your host,
Sorry,
Give Me
go
That
ahead.
Wheat, and as you can hear, there might be a guest here, who, despite being a friend of the show, a past guest, has proven that maybe they're not so much a fan of the show. So I've got
bread man. Go on.
You might know him from the Bad Melee podcast. You might know him from working for Beyond the Summit. You might know him from
Say it, dude. Say it.
Losing to La Luna in that one Evo set. I've got my friend Slime.
Hey, what's up?
Yeah, so what's so important that you have to cut me off before your intro?
Sorry, I didn't look. We didn't rehearse this. He just said, "Okay, I'm gonna fucking talk a little bit." Okay, what is the Deep Dives a secret podcast?
Deep Dive? No, it's secret in the fact that it's less popular. If that's what you mean, if like.
Isn't that the nature of a secret? Is that it's not popular?
Well, I'd be fine if it were popular. That's the part about it. So, like, Nena had that song 99 Luft Balloons, and that's the only song we know by that band. It's not like the other songs are secret. They're just a one-hit wonder.
Right, okay. That's fair.
Yeah. So, I don't know. This is kind of the more chill show, and this was supposed to be running concurrent with the main show, which is going to be a little more straight-laced and a shorter, kind of tighter performance.
So we can say wild shit here. This is
Wild West. This is
mama.
This is
have anything
MTV
to do
Unplugged.
with dive into the heart, the Kingdom Hearts sort of area where you learn which sword and shield you want to buy.
It can be.
Okay.
Art. The author's dead, right? Art can be viewed how you want it to be.
I want a stained glass floor with you and Ambi, and you're just holding each other.
Yeah.
Right? And I am deciding whether or not to choose the wand or the sword, and never the shield. I don't care. It's not even there.
I mean, the image for this video, when this goes up in video form, will be the two of us diving into the ocean, into a cove, with flashlights in our hands, I think.
I like that.
So, yeah, I mean, at the very least, we got that going for us.
So you predicted Pikachu winning.
I predicted Axe winning, and I just didn't say any Pikachu. I think that would have been the bolder prediction to just say, hey, Pikachu will win this.
Leffen's Pikachu makes a rare appearance.
Yeah, I don't know which Pikachu it's going to be. We might see H-Box's Pikachu, but yeah, Pikachu is going to win.
Why?
I just so every time we go on, we do these episodes talking about what major is going to happen. I feel like I'm wrong every single time.
Okay.
So I just decided to double down, and I think the smart idea for a while was just to say H-Box, and I constantly didn't want to say H-Box because I thought that was, it's not fun. That's the smart idea, and I would be constantly wrong. So Edwin said Leffen, and that was pretty good idea, and I decided to try to one-up Melee this year because Melee's been so weird that I tried to one-up itself before it could one-up me, and I said, Axe is going to win this thing. And then immediately after,
so it wasn't an informed prediction. It was let me run it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like what? I probably thought that like Wizzy, HBox, Leffen, and Mango had the best shots going into the weekend. I think those four, like pretty equally, I would say, have like relatively good shots at winning. But I just whatever. Let's run it. Let's see what we can do with it.
I like that. And you hit. Did you put any cash bread wheat on it?
No, I should have.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I mean, if anyone wants to pay me for my good prediction, feel free to join us
Someone
over
reward him.
join us over at patreon.com/melee stats.
Let's go. With all the piranhas.
Yeah, with the piranha gang. But yeah, so we talked about how Axe won this thing. You saw this firsthand, correct?
Yeah. I saw it all go down
Yeah.
from a program monitor
Yeah.
in the back.
So what's it like working with the event?
So it's like I feel like people are kind of confused on what my role is at BTS in like the wider audience is I'm just a guy who like thinks up ideas for funny gamer video Mad Libs, which isn't really the case because we only do a couple of these a year, so it'd be a wild waste of money to employ me full time. But what I actually do is I put the show together from start to finish, and also like the beginning, like the marketing of the show, the event itself, like the voting, the shop, the compendium, everything that has to do with Smash Summit being in the world is sort of my responsibility. And so during the event itself, I have a run of show in front of me, and I have like a usually a commentary schedule, and I have the stream up and a program monitor, and I just watch the whole thing and make sure everything runs smoothly. And if something isn't run smoothly, I fix it immediately, and I schedule things and I modify things to make the timings hit on the schedule and stuff like that. And that's my main job as far as when we are live, when BTS Smash is live. So watch it. So I pretty much just watch the entire tournament.
Yeah, I watched the entire thing too. So I really kind of struggling to figure out what you're doing that I'm not. But I mean, yeah, it's hey, if it works out for you, then go for it.
Yeah, what I'm saying is I'm a fraud, and the bread man is more than qualified to do what I do.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I predicted it. I really think whoever
You
predicts who
did
should
predict
win
it.
should be hired for the
Yeah,
next
you
event.
need something, right? If no one's gonna be like hitting up the Patreon, I don't know.
Wait a second. People
Maybe
hit up
we'll
the
get.
Patreon.
No, what I'm saying is like if no one is going to be like rewarding you for your your prediction through the Patreon, which I mean, if they that is not a reason they'll be they'll want to support Melee Stats, not to help the breadman's ego, is what I'm saying. Unless
I mean, yeah, I mean, hey, this ego could use some boosting.
let's go. I'm all for supporting that. But yeah, we'll get you a little chair, we'll get you a little desk. It says, you did it, and you can come to the next Smash Summit. You'll just be there
All right,
with
guys,
your
you heard
with
it.
your with your one prediction on a little card, and you'll just sit there the whole time waiting and see if it hits.
Yeah, I mean that's great. I was trying to figure out a way to get into past Smash summits. My best idea was to kind of use like geo tracking devices on any of the top players that I saw. Maybe like throw on one of those little things to them, and then hopefully it
Yeah,
sticks. And
like a
then kind of
spy movie.
yeah, exactly. And then from there, I don't know the squatting rights in California, but I feel like if I were to live in that house for a couple years, legally I would be the owner of it.
If we didn't find you, yeah,
So it would
you'd
be
have to be
a
pretty quiet about it.
yeah, it'd be the long haul. I wouldn't be. I'd be there for a couple summits, but really wouldn't be able to talk about it until summit like 30 or something like that.
Yeah, you'd have to emerge.
Yeah, in like 2028 when it's like Big Kid winning.
Big Kid takes the title. You're like, I knew it, and you're just like wearing tattered clothes and fucking.
I come out in like the reason why people know they're old clothes because they're old like Smash GG clothing.
Yeah, they're very much like a tree's rings with like Smash Summit 7 merch or something.
Yeah, yeah. They're like, oh, we can tell those are the Smash Summit 7 pants.
Yeah. That's crazy you predicted it. But yeah, that's what I do. I didn't predict goddamn shit. It's usually it's a big sweat in production when Mango is on the chopping block. We definitely like Mango. A lot of the production guys
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Falcon a lot, so they were happy about Wizzy getting there in Grandos.
Well, like the viewers also, time and time again, have turned to like just turning off their stream completely whenever Mango
Yeah,
drops out.
it is such a funny phenomenon. For Ultimate Summit, when Mango got eliminated by Gluttony, we lost, I think, 10,000 viewers, like within, 20 minutes of him being eliminated. It
Yeah.
was crazy.
Well, it's so like I can understand from the Ultimate event because that's like there are a ton of people who are probably only watching to see the melee players.
Yeah, that's
Like
the
even in
guy.
melee events, it's the same exact thing where there's just tons of people who are, they probably like melee, but they're first off a Mango fan and like secondly a melee fan.
Yeah, I think so too. The Smash Summit audience is very interesting because it mirrors the top 8 audience in general of melee tournaments, where it's like, for instance, I like Street Fighter. I'm not watching some Street Fighter regional stuff. I'm just not going to do it. I want to know who's the best and who is in contention for the best because I'm a casual passing fan, and it's interesting to think about that in terms of melee. I feel like for us, because it's what we think about every single day. So you're like, wait, how could you not know Big Kid is sick, right? But it's like some people just don't. Well, a lot of people, the majority, I would say, of like a top 8 or a Smash Summit audience, just don't care.
Yeah, it's so wild to like have a conversation with someone about melee and then just realize that oh yeah they like don't devote their entire life to this, which is the smart thing to do.
Yeah, it is. It is the smart thing, but it also implies that like there's something that out there where they must, if they care enough, or if they're just like surface level humans in general, which isn't a bad thing. But it's just like the things they enjoy, they don't spend obsessing about. Me and Ludwig once we went to get ice cream at this like ice cream place, and he was wearing a some shirt that was like a Smash shirt, and he was like, you guys like Melee?" And we're like, "Yeah, we like Melee." And he's like, "I like Armada. He's sick." And I like Mango. We're like, "Yeah, us too. That's great. Yeah, those are way cool." And at this point, me and Ludwig are like, well known enough to where if you're like into Melee for a long enough time, you'll know like at least of us.
Yeah, yeah.
And this guy was just like, oh, these two guys are like me, right? They must just like the video game.
Yeah.
So that was like a Smash Summit viewer right there, or like a top 8 viewer in general.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, like the other day I had a coworker who was talking to me about how they're playing Ultimate and they're almost got down wave dashing in Ultimate. I was like, yeah, sure,
like
buddy.
that's crazy. Can you show everyone else?
Yeah, it's like, all right. And it's just like very clear that there are like so many different levels to caring. But yeah.
Yeah. And so, but on that note was like when like Mayo got eliminated at Ultimate Summit and all that. I think where Melee is now with HBox being a little more mortal is actually kind of cool because it used to be the default state was who will maybe beat HBox in grands, but not likely. Now
Yeah.
it's like maybe HBox goes down pretty early, and then it's like it's anyone's game, which is a lot more fun to watch.
Yeah, I mean, the more recent thing from the past couple majors is like who will play him in loser semis or like losers
Yeah,
quarters.
isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it really is. And like the thing about it is, it probably also leads to less of a drop in viewers from when these like really like the Leffens and the Mangoes of the world, the people who have like the strong viewership connection to just the person. I would assume that like leads to less of a drop off because them losing doesn't automatically mean like Hungrybox wins. It could mean that we see like grand finals between a Captain Falcon and an Axe player and a Pikachu
and an
player.
axe player, yeah. Pikachu Williamson, they call him. Yeah, it's insane, and I think I think honestly it all started when Armada quit entering singles. It like
Yeah,
when he quit entering singles, I think the direct tournament after was Shine 2018, in which
yeah,
Zayn beat HBox, and Armada had just been checking all the chumps up until that person, up until HBox, and now he's gone, and now it's like everyone's getting more cracks at him, and it's
yeah,
showing.
definitely. We were talking about this. I was talking with Edwin about this. How like I think that Armada was the one, like the, I guess gatekeeper maybe is probably the word that a lot of people would use for that. But yeah, just like the floodgates completely opened whenever he left, and I don't think it was really apparent for a little bit because we still had HBox winning Big House into Summit into Genesis into Pound.
Yeah,
But like, yeah, I mean, all it takes is like someone like I don't even think beating HBox is like the far and away the hardest thing in a bracket right now.
yeah, and it used to be beating Armada and also HBox.
Yeah, that was the thing is that like Edwin and I were talking about is like it was so hard to be a player who could both beat them or who could beat both of them
Yeah,
because you might have the ability to beat HBox, like Wizzy had sets on him, Zane obviously, but then you would have to like also play Armada. So like
yeah,
the idea that you would somehow dodge both of them in a bracket seemed impossible.
it is pretty interesting, and like I I think Armada not playing singles has incrementally increased like Melee viewership from the because what a viewer hates is predictability. That's the worst thing. I mean, that's not like a story in general, a joke in general is built on the idea that you will encounter the unexpected. You will be
Yeah,
subverted.
exactly. When I'm
And when
watching
it's
like, no, sorry, go on.
no, when it's HBox, Armada, it's just like, oh, same shit, same hat.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. If I'm watching like Evo Grand Finals for a game that I don't ever watch, like I can't even think of an example, but if I'm seeing someone who wins like every single tournament for Mortal Kombat or whatever, like Sonic Fox in the past couple of years, I guess, where he's been for a couple different games, the guy who's
Yeah.
been like the one to beat. Like you don't want to see him win the big tournament because you're only watching that one. You want to see like something new happen. But also it's really funny because that also requires the guy to win every single other thing before that, which you just don't
Before that.
watch. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. So there's a push and pull. And that's not to say like I think Armada, I think if he played again singles that would be very good. I think everyone's also just catching up in general. I think people have been saying that for like 10 years, but either way, like if Armada played again, I think it would also be him entering into a bit of a new spot. Um and it would also like him taking a break, whether or not permanent or temporary, is like ultimately a good thing for viewership in general. As far as the game itself, who knows? I think being repeatedly whomped by Armada as top players might be a better thing for them to
Yeah,
learn.
possibly.
But yeah, I don't know. It's super interesting. I think about it a lot. Viewership is part of my job to think about all the time. I watch all top eights, shit like that. Um, if I don't fall asleep, sometimes fall asleep because it's Sunday and I'm a sleepy boy. But yeah, I don't know, man. We're
Yeah.
in a weird spot right now with Melee.
It's
Weird meaning good, but also different.
it's really interesting. I don't know if people would have said that this was what 2019 was going to look like, was the year where it just all fell apart. I mean, in retrospect, like, the first year that we have without Armada for a long time, like, that would make sense. But yeah, it's wild. I personally thought this was going to be a year that, like, I didn't really think it would be fun, so maybe it was, like, me hoping that it didn't happen. But I thought it was going to be, like, HBox just winning, like, every single major.
Yeah. I mean, it feels like based on past data, that's kind of how it would go.
Yeah, right. I mean, like you take away Armada, who was the only player who was like, able to consistently beat him last year. And then like what else do you get? But yeah, I think this is a pleasant surprise. Not because I don't want to say that it's because of I don't like to see H Bucks winning, but I think like any person winning that much can be kind of stagnant for the scene. So I think it's really incredible that we see all this stuff like this.
There is a question that is like gets begged though, is like if Mango was as consistent as, let's say, Armada or HBox, he was the one winning all the time. Is that a win for the world because it's Mango? Is he the only exception because he plays like a mad cunt?
I mean, I think if Big Kid was winning every tournament,
Let's go, Big Kid.
what if this just started like at SmashCon on, just like it's just like a month later, just like started. Yeah, we really didn't expect Big Kid, the 80th seed in this tournament to win, but he did, and then he won every other tournament he's entered.
He shot up like a rocket.
Yeah. I mean, like I guess you could say that there is like a value that changes based on how they actually play, like what actually happens on the screen. But I would say if you have a person who's winning every single thing, people, no matter what is actually happening on the screen, probably would not really particularly enjoy it. Mango's that's a good question though, considering he's so well liked and his play style is so like just fun and flashy to watch.
Yeah, I think there is a lot to be said about a playstyle like, again, like S2J, or maybe Moki now, right? If Moki is just winning everything, doing fucking cowboy trick shots, like I think maybe that's okay. I think constant winning is only acceptable in the viewership eyeball is if it is perceived as cool, rather than just new. So you can be constantly cool, but you can only be interesting if you're new. Like if HBox just started winning and he always lost, people would be losing their minds. He did it with Puff. That's crazy. It's like but that's just not the reality we live in. So.
Yeah. I mean, like once you get to this level, it just matters so much about like there's so many things that matter. Like your personality is a big part of it as well. Once you're that big, when you have like 20,000 people following you on Twitter and stuff like that, like that is a real aspect to it. So yeah, that's a really good question. Like, would people, if like they had that, if Mango had that dominant period again, where for 8 months he won all the majors, would people like how would they feel? That's interesting. I think the coolest part about Armada's like his reigns at the top is that whenever he would go to a tournament, like he would either win or he would have a really cool set. Like all the sets that he's lost when he was considered the best, I think are so cool. The Royal Flush one comes to mind as like a classically great set. There's some like the Plup versus the Plup one at Big House where he beat him first. I think that's a really cool set. I think the Summit set afterwards where Armada beats him is not a good set.
I mean, when SJ almost did it, like everyone remembers that.
Yeah, definitely.
Even just almost getting there for someone like Armada, in terms of like such a milestone. When SJ almost did it was huge. It was big news, and all he had to do was down there, and he didn't. But whatever.
I mean, all Rishi had to do was down there at that one time too.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Evo 2016.
Yeah, I think it was 2016.
I saw that shit too. I was like, who the fuck is Smash God? I was such a boy at the time.
Oh, by the way, I want to shout out one of the people who posted on our comment page, YouTube, the last week. We were talking about Marths who could beat Mango, and we didn't mention Rishi, and we got flamed in the comments.
Oh, yeah, that'll do it.
The one comment that was left on the video was, I think it said, like, how do you guys call yourself Melee Stats, but you forget Rishi?
Yeah, God.
Here's the thing. Ready? Here's my clap back. You tell me that you think Rishi could beat Mango.
Is that it? You're saying that he can't?
So, I mean, we can get into this. My little chestnut of knowledge would be like great Marth players can beat Mango, but like you have to be a great Marth player. Rishi and Pew Pew are great players, great melee players who play Marth.
Really? You think so?
Yeah, I think so. Like, just there's really small ways that I think their playstyles are different than someone like Zayn. We actually mentioned Stango as like the next most likely after Zayn to beat Mango. Uh,
Really?
I think Zayn is like there's a certain level of like degeneracy that I think you have to play with, and I
Okay.
think Pew Pew and Rishi are both extremely like smart and intelligent players, smart and intelligent, um, and they're also playing with like the idea of trying to innovate stuff in like really small ways. Like they're the type of people who would I think would say like down throw tech chasing is like really the future, but then you just see like Zayn or King just kind of like up throw chain grab and just like destroy spaces with it.
So when Spud says cool Marth can't exist at the top level, that's what you're saying.
I mean, I think this is not regarding like how cool it is. I think Zayn has cool moments. I think King has cool moments, and I think Pew Pew and Rishi also have cool moments. But I just don't think that like the way that they play Marth is like a way that makes I don't know like a way that only Marth players can be good at. Does that make sense? I'm like
Okay.
I feel
Yeah, yeah,
confident
yeah, yeah.
that Pew Pew could pick up four different characters and still be top 30 or something like that,
Yeah,
top
which he
50.
has. I mean, he's played as Fox in like very top
His
level
Fox, yeah,
matchups.
I've heard good things about his Falco too, and I think Rishi's probably would be someone pretty similar. We saw his Fox, and it obviously didn't have the same results as his Marth, but yeah, it's just like
Interesting.
anyone who says that they're not an FD Marth, I don't think that they can beat like Mango, and that's just how I look at it.
Yeah, that's a good point. I also think Zayn does cool stuff, but like there's actually this weird public perception that Zayn is lame. And I think maybe I've helped sort of perpetuate that um when I did the slam on the scene when I just did a whole bit where he was lame and he dashbacks.
Nice
But
one.
I actually think at a surface level it's hard to tell. Like your average watcher isn't going to think that Zayn is lame unless they think gimping is lame in general, or unless it's just happening to Mango, in which
Yeah,
everything is lame.
I think like your average watcher is not really going to have the same opinions of what's lame compared to people who like grind melee. Like I'm sure that like Amsa, I think people like obviously people love Amsa, but if you like watch certain parts of his sets where he's just like egg camping, uh,
Yeah, he is. He does. He engages less than a lot of the field.
yeah, and even like I don't know, it depends on like what you think is lame. People can say Axe is lame, because like I guess if you think Pikachu's lame, but yeah, it's wild that there's like I think there's a group of players who definitely are like I wouldn't debate someone if they called them lame because I see what they're talking about, but like also I think that that would be perfectly fine to many
Yeah.
people.
On the subject of lameness, it's interesting because like there are so many little like if you're considering like the obsessive fan base slash involved base of melee like viewers and community members, like okay, there's like melee stats, there's like the Reddit monsters, there's like Twitch heads, that watch every single stream, they sub to every smasher and stuff like that, and everyone in that sort of bracket is very involved with the game and knows a lot of shit, probably can rattle off 80 of the top 100 by thinking about it alone. And then and then there's like, and then it travels upwards in level to the surface level viewer. But what's sick is that like no matter what, when we see something cool happen, we all for a moment come together and are like, nice.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like watching a tournament in if you're in the crowd, it's obviously like that everyone who's watching is not like, well, actually, West Balls is up, 5-2 this year. Like,
Yeah.
you're not gonna think that, but yeah, I mean, we can all like be really excited when he pops off on like a suicide day or something like that.
Yeah. And that's like I think why melee is still a thing that is has survived for so long is because there are moments where everyone can come together and appreciate it. And then we all go back to our own little cabals and fucking talk shit. Talk shit.
Yeah, I mean,
And
but
that's what
also
it's
I
all
think you
about.
got the same exact thing where like the opposite where you're at a tournament and there's people who are like obviously like newer to the game who are cheering for stuff that's just like so inconsequential to people who
Like
watch it a
Stomp
lot.
Me and shit.
Stomp
Yeah.
Knee. Stomp Knee, obviously the big one. Dreamland clapping, I guess, can also fit into that.
Yeah, you gotta be a fucking wild man to think that that's cool at any level in your life. I don't know, dude. I don't know.
Do you
I'm
know
just different.
YCZ? Do you know Leon?
Yeah.
So Leon, I love him. He's so cool. He is
He
incredibly like
claps?
soft spoken. What was that?
Does he clap?
No, no. But
Oh,
I
okay.
was
Sorry, sorry, sorry,
no, I would never. I would never associate with a known clapper. Uh, but yeah, so he's like so soft spoken. He's such like an intelligent guy. And I've never seen his voice go over like can't even think of a decibel count because I don't know how it works. But yeah, I mean, just like if he were at TV, he'd constantly be on like 5 volume, like that
Okay.
volume that like your grandparents put on because they just
Yeah.
like want something there. They don't care what it says.
Yeah.
He's so constantly quiet. So I was watching Evo with him. We were in the stadium, and it was losers quarters, Wizzy versus HBox, and they go to Dreamland. This is the first time Dreamland's been played this entire tournament. And immediately he yells, "Stop clapping!"
Holy shit.
And there's this kid in front of us, probably I don't know, probably 20 or something like that, but like kid because they're clapping.
Yeah. They are infantilized.
You're
No
a
matter
kid
what.
if you're clapping in Dreamland, and Leon just smacks him in the back of the head.
No way. A random person?
I've never seen him do this.
That's insane.
It was wild. But I mean,
Wow.
I think justified in a sense.
Oh, absolutely 100% justified at any time ever. Yeah, no, clapping is very like I think the new vibe at tournaments, it's gone through this evolution. At Genesis 3, the clapping started and everyone was like, "Oh god. What has become of us all?" Right? That's when the clapping really did enter the world. And
Yeah.
then like tournaments had gone and like everyone's kind of slowly decided that the clapping was whack. And so it was like now you would hear people clapping and then you'd hear a crowd, like other pockets of human beings screaming, "Stop, don't," like groaning and booing at the clapping, right? And now what I've noticed with the last tournament I went to, Genesis 6, now when people clap, we've all given up and we just don't say anything. And that's the world we live in. That's the Dark Souls
Yeah.
era.
Yeah. I think I briefly at Genesis 6 is when I thought of this. I was talking to Ambi about it and when we were watching. I think I thought of the idea that as you go into the top 8, you have to declare yourself a clapper or a non-clapper, and then
Yeah,
they
you
sit
have
you
to like
accordingly.
get a badge, yeah. And they put you in a soundproof like area
Yeah,
and
exactly.
you just clap all you want.
You're just behind like soundproof glass and clap to your heart's content.
I would just love to stare at a group of clappers just and watch them and they're silent and I can go, "Ah, yes. Yes,
Just the
stay
idea
there."
of like looking at a group of people who are in this like huge plastic box, like clapping, but not hearing any of it.
I like to think of myself as SJW'd out of my fucking mind, right? I think about social issues a lot. But there are two things in this world that I will be forever very prejudiced against, unreasonably, and that's anime profile pictures and Dreamland clappers.
There's
And
probably a big middle section of that Venn diagram.
I think so. And in like I'm like the old man on the porch in fucking in the deep south, and I'm just talking about anime profile pictures, and I
See,
don't like them.
I haven't really given too much thought onto the AFPs, but I think it probably goes like I think there's it's either really bad or I think they could start to be like useful again, like horseshoe theory, you know? Like I think the people that have anime profile pics, I think that they've proven themselves the type of nerds to like really devote themselves to something, and if they can devote themselves to something for good, I think that they can be very useful.
That's a very optimistic way to put it, but like, god damn it.
Damien, Algebra 123230 has a profile pic that's an anime character.
Yeah, and therefore, like, I can't be friends with him.
He's
I
done
just
so
can't.
much for the community, though.
I
This is my
know.
theory: is that he's horseshoed back around to being helpful.
God, it's the worst part of esports. It's the worst part of gaming. It's the worst part of social media. Oh, god damn it. Sorry, I get a little riled up
No,
thinking
this is
about it.
good. This is good. So we've been talking for like a half an hour at this point. Let's try to get a little bit into the bracket. We'll just go over like so. There were so many cool things that happened. So we'll go into that. First, I want to ask you though, like this bracket style with all these buys after Swiss pools. This was like MLG style. This is the
Uh-huh.
first time that you were running this. What did you think of this as someone who was running it? And then I guess like what did you think about this from the if you were like just a spectator?
So the idea initially presented to practical tasks and like a couple of us as far as like our concerns was that we want more singles matches because singles matches are the funnest thing to watch at Smash Summit, and that's our goal. Is to have fun things to watch, and so instead of like having 8 winners, 8 losers on Sunday automatically, uh, we wanted a way in which to keep everyone in winners while also making pools count, while also making everything consequential in that there is no opportunities for throwing. Every match is incentivized to win, um, and all that shit. Also, like avoiding double jeopardies. Like through this is my third Smash Summit. Like you just can't fucking have it all. There will never ever be a perfect system. It's like you have to just get like 80% approval rate or something like that. Because there's
Yeah,
always going to be someone who has a problem with it or has a disadvantageous bracket or something like that.
it's like those things that you see posted on like Facebook and stuff, and it's like sleep, study, friends. You can't have all three.
Yeah, it's just like that. And so it's like, fuck, dude. And this system I think was pretty fucking clever by Practical Tasks, and I think as far as fairness, I think there were a couple spots. I think none there was a match in which he was less incentivized to win. Overall, he was incentivized to win in Swiss, but that he was less so than normal.
I
I
think
don't.
that was that because he was going to play HBox because HBox has already lost to AMSA. Was that the reason?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure like the specifics. I just remember there was actually in the Melee Stats Discord. I think he was asking about it. Um, or he was asking Juggle Guy. I forget. But there was one of those. There was a couple double jeopardies actually, which isn't that fun. Um,
No, and it really so overall I thought the format was really cool because we got to see a ton of matches, but yeah, there were definitely some heartbreakers. Like seeing Triff reverse 3-0 Zane, but then lose to Zane in losers was definitely kind of a
yeah,
heartbreaker.
yeah. It's hard. Like you're trying to take 16 players and stretch out singles content over about 3 days. Uh, it's definitely something I'm gonna try to revisit in terms of everything. Like, let me ask you this, man to man, fucking turn off the mic. You don't have to turn off the mic. What if we cut doubles?
I mean, like
It gets dog shit viewership, dude.
this was I think I maybe told you this when you were talking about potential double seating, which I did not actually give any thoughts on. But this was like the first doubles tournament where we just like didn't have any static teams, any people who like ever played with each other on like a consistent basis. Like before,
Was it
it would be like PewFat versus Armada and Mewtwo King, which is
right,
like
right, right?
super cool to see. And like now it's like whatever. It's like I mean it's cool to see Mango and S2J play because they play every now and then as a doubles team. But yeah,
It is also cool to see how good Mango is at doubles in general.
that's like
Like
the
he
saving
just
grace of
understands it.
Summit doubles is every now and then we'll just get to see Mango like really pop off because otherwise he's either not entering or he's DQing.
If you like doubles as a Melee fan and a Melee viewer, you cannot be the surface level top 8 watcher. There is zero, absolute zero crossover in that Venn diagram. Like if you like doubles, that says so much about you as a Melee fan. And it's almost like a cross section of like an exact group of like human beings. And you could take everyone who watches top 8 doubles and like put them in a box, and they're all like very, very similar in my opinion.
Yeah, it's wild. Like I remember when I first was getting into Melee, I was just watching a bunch of VODs. I was like, "Oh, this will be fun, right? This is just like I like watching PPMD and play Mango, so I guess I'll like watching them if there's like two other top players involved, and it's just like a mess.
Yeah, it's like,
Like I
wait,
think
it's
doubles
different.
is cool now that I've been watching it for a couple of years, but yeah, like it's so scary to someone who has not like. Well, I think playing doubles. I don't play doubles a lot, but I think like the people who play doubles, it would be like extremely more interesting because like you have to train your eyes to like figure out what to watch.
hmm Um, but yeah, either way, so that was our big sort of like push for the format in general. As far as what I thought about it, I every time a player is upset or concerned about a disadvantageous situation to do with the format, I feel um, like we failed. But luckily, there wasn't any sort of big giant problem. Um, in terms of a viewer, it was super confusing. We could have done a lot better. When I say we, I mean I, to sort of explain to the talent. I know Hugo got a little angry on the couch, justifiably, but I did sit down with them and explain it the best I could. I could have done it a couple times throughout the event just to make sure everyone was on the same page. Because I think also a mark of failure in my job is when anytime a commentator says, "What's going on? What is this? What is this?" When they're asking questions about something to do with the show flow, show structure, format structure, any information that they should have, I have failed. So I tried to mitigate that a lot, but this format was a little confusing. But once you get to Sunday, it's like, okay, we got a bracket, run it.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I think that there were some really interesting parts about it, and from like the people who really just only watch like 5 Melee tournaments a year or whatever, it really doesn't matter if they completely understand what's going on, right? Because they're just like happy to see like a Fox and a Marth.
Yeah, and the idea is that the people playing should always be playing to win, and that's kind of all you need to know to watch something. Like, shit, I'm sure anyone who's gone to a tournament has watched friendlies between two people they know, and it's like something cool happens, and they pop off at that. Like, the beauty of Melee is watching two characters on the screen fight each other, and the game is interesting enough to where you need very little context to care.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's just like it's such an issue to be able to have something that is like easy to follow, gives you a lot of sets, and also like works perfectly for the players and the viewers. But I think like I really do commend Summit for constantly trying new things. I know that this is probably like the third or fourth big like format change since Summit began as a
Yeah,
like to hold Smash. So that's definitely really cool to see.
yeah. It's I mean, it's always on our mind. Like, I think Melee's it's scary. Like anytime Melee feels boring, everyone starts to get scared. Like in the scene. Like, oh, it's over. Everyone says it's over. Melee dead. Like that's the running joke. And
Yeah, we were supposed to be dead like 2 months ago, right? three
yeah,
months ago.
yeah, exactly. And to mitigate that is a big deal. Like because we like Melee obviously too. You know, not from like a business perspective, but like we play it all the fucking time. It's in our bones.
Yeah, I mean we're all pushing so hard for this game to continue, right? That's why we're still
I,
sticking with it.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Ken Hotbid Chen says he is the best, oldest Melee player. That there is no one older than him that can beat him. And
Well, this like
I,
means that you have to reveal his age, right?
I think he's 36.
Oh, I think he gets beaten by Eddie, the Ganondorf who won MLG Orlando. I think is like almost 40.
Really?
I mean, like, yeah, I'm pretty sure he is at the very least 36. Like, I think
Okay.
that I mean he's your boss, so maybe you.
We might need to run numbers on that. He's very interested. He thinks it's like He thinks it's his claim to the Hall of Fame, being the best oldest player right now.
Yeah, I mean,
Because he does play all the time. He just doesn't enter anything, but he plays all the time.
if he wants to pay Melee Stats, or we're of course more than happy to help out with any sort of EP contest.
We need a boomer off. A
Yeah.
boomer showdown.
So, Melee Stats at one point was briefly considering releasing some sort of like the best players who are under the age of 20 list, which I think would have been really cool. Which still could come out possibly. I wouldn't
Yeah.
really. I wouldn't say this is the next thing on Melee Stats Horizon, but whatever. And I was briefly considering how funny it would be to have like best players over 30 or like over 35 or something like that.
Yeah.
And insanely harder to do.
Why is that? To find out their ages?
It's just like how many 35-year-olds are like consistently entering enough. Like you have these like 16-year-old grinders who are like still in high school, who are just entering a ton, and like it's pretty easy to get like a good grip on their skill.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like I don't know. We know of like the people who are like the reason why like Dreffen is such a cool person to so many people is that he's been playing for so long, and I'm pretty sure he's like married and has kids or something like that.
Yeah, he's like a family. He's like a normal human being outside of playing Melee.
Exactly, which is why that's like so cool to so many people is because that's not the case. You know, this isn't like Street Fighter or another older game where you have like these players who've been playing since like the 90s and stuff like that. So yeah, I think that would be like a really harder thing to do. Yeah, that'd be tough. I would look into it though. My current guess would be that Eddie is older, and I think that Eddie would win.
Wow. Take that, Ken. And also, yeah, I don't think his Ganondorf matchup would be good at all because no one plays Ganondorf around the office.
We gotta have. Hey, maybe that's the next thing that Summit does. Summit and Melee Stats get together, and they throw two brackets. One is a 16 or 32 person invitational of children, and the other one they have to like be over 35.
An ancient boomer celebration. In which they try their hardest.
It'd be sick. You know what? Probably there could be like a Japanese player. Like I don't know how old like Masashi is.
Yeah, someone like in the annals of Japan.
Yeah. So we'll figure that out. We'll get that bracket run,
Mm.
and then we'll make them play each other. Whoever wins the boomer bracket.
Yeah, they just get like a month supply of Metamucil.
Well, no, they got to play whoever wins like the children bracket.
That's right. Yeah.
And then
it's just Zamu.
Just get fucking like quad shined at a shield.
It's like, oh, okay.
Oh yeah, this is a thing. But so like let's we talked about the format of it, which I think is really interesting. Let's talk about what actually happened here for a brief minute or two. So there were incredible things that happened. So we talked about Axe. His run is incredible. He beats Wizzy. He actually beats Wizzy twice because he beats him in semis and in set 2. He beats Leffen to get there. He beats Axe. But like, there's so many other things with the crazy run.
Wait, you said he beat Axe. Who did you mean?
Leffen. Mango.
Okay.
So yeah, Axe beat Wizzy twice. He beat Leffen. He beat Mango. I think that's an incredible run. Anyone who like you looking at their bracket were incredibly impressed by, because I think there's a lot of people who like really showed their stuff this weekend.
Let me see.
Yeah. So like,
It
for
was
example,
actually less being impressed and more being surprised at who I thought was gonna do well.
Yeah.
Bring this shit up. Dreffen taking like he's like just a hard none counter. I know he lost
Twice.
but insane.
Yeah.
Insane to do. Hold on. Let me see.
I think so. While you're looking that up, I think Cody's run IBW is like that was crazy to me.
He looked like the FOD game, like it, like when he he was up 3 stocks on Juan, and I was like, no fucking way. and he didn't four stock him, but like holy shit. When's the last time something that insane has happened?
Yeah, it was wild. So I know he's talked about how like Puff is his favorite matchup. He plays Toussaint all the time. He brought HBox to Game 5 at Smash and Splash was the first time he played him, so he felt super confident. I talked to him at Pound, and he was like, "I really wanted to be seeded into HBox." Like he's one of the only like people who probably would say that like HBox is the person that they want to play most.
Yeah, that's such a young head thing to want.
Yeah,
Because like the old heads are like, oh Jesus Christ, let me just get a little bit farther in bracket, brother.
but yeah, I mean, you got those people who like hungry. They just want to prove that they can do it,
Mm.
and he certainly did. Like that was crazy. He just looked so confident, and he didn't seem scared. I think that watching like anyone who's not like Leffen, or I guess what Armado was playing versus HBox, just like you see the fear in them so much.
I had some pretty high hopes for Spud just because I'm a general Spud fan, and
Yeah,
he just does some of the wildest shit that I've ever seen. But unfortunately, he got, let's see, he took none to Game 5, and then he got 3-0'd by Zane. Just a little rough. You got to give that boy a spaces is all.
it's
That's all
hard
I'm
for
saying.
a get 3-0'd by Mega. It's hard for up and comers, I think, to really prove themselves at Summit, especially if there's a couple different up and comers because you're just playing people who've been established for so long.
Yeah.
So like I think him and Moki, like if you were to give them 3, 4 majors to go to or whatever, they'd really prove themselves as top
Yeah,
players.
I think
Moki already kind of has.
Summit as an arena doesn't really help. Like a normal tournament is much better for an up and comer
Yeah,
than for a than Summit, and I think a Summit is way better for an established old salty dog. In that, I guess they don't lose either way, but like an up and comer, they just want to keep playing. They just want to stay hot. They just want to see how far they can get. It's like because it's all they've known. But a Summit is like this weird closed environment that can kind of change a vibe. I also think Mango. I think Mango said it before. Like he feels like he underperforms at Summit because there isn't a crowd, and it's usually where he maybe draws his like power from.
yeah, which is odd because I feel like he'd probably be one of the few players to say that.
Yeah, it is weird, but I also think maybe it's that he is less or not affected by a crowd while someone else would be, and so it's not like he gains anything; he just loses nothing, while someone else might feel the rumblings of the screams and get
Yeah,
distracted
true.
or
I
make
mean, it's like
mistakes.
it's such a real thing that we see in like top players who are about to lose to someone, uh, and they just like they
They
just
clutch it.
they clutch it, and because like imagine that you are the fourth best player in uh, Nebraska or whatever, and you suddenly find yourself last stock with like Leffen,
Yeah,
and you're on the stage and whatever, and everyone's screaming. It's
and
like
all of a sudden everything is different.
yeah. So like I think the example that I think is probably most emblematic of that is if you took IBDW and Mango and you put them on a stage for ninth place and this is like I don't know, Genesis stage or whatever. I think that's a different story.
Yeah, I think so too.
I'm confident enough in IBDW's skill that I think he could still win, of course. I think when I watched them play at Genesis, I thought that there was a possibility that he could win. But yeah, like it really does work well for people who might kind of not be in that same mindset of like being used to all this happening. So in a way,
When
it like
you've
yeah, go on.
Yeah, no, when you've been getting screamed at by crowds for 10 years, it just doesn't hit you the same as it would for someone like IBDW.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Which I mean, that's a really cool aspect of Summit is that we rarely see any top level play without like a crowd.
Yeah, it's like a beaker. It's like a science beaker in which we can see like this isolated skill, um, inside that room and see what really happens and stuff like that. Also, Nez was there, which is really cool. So no one had any controller problems, unless they did that I
Yeah,
don't
that's
know
I
about.
think
But
was it Ginger whose like controller broke like right before his set or something like
Yeah,
that?
yeah, yeah.
That
It was insane.
that's super clutch to have Ness there.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of like Ginger. I think is another thing. Who another thing?
Just another thing.
He's just another thing. I was a little surprised by his S2J win, and he also got another win on IBDW, which I think is pretty solid for him. He had that really close set with Wizzy, which is I think like the first single set of the tournament.
Yeah, that was wild. It's like, ugh. I like. It's funny because Mango hasn't lost to a Falcon in like 200 years, you know.
Yeah, like prehistoric.
And it's so funny because everyone is just trying to figure out what fucking Mango has done with with Falco Falcon matchup. Same thing with Samus. Like he's just never lost to a Samus, or not never, but it's been a while if I'm not mistaken. You are the bread man.
Yeah, I cannot think of the last time he lost to a Samus. But yeah,
And
specifically Ginger, I want to talk about his like. I think he's so impressive in his ability to, like, really see what he needs to work on. Because anytime you see him versus a top player, I think like the first game or like first two stocks or whatever, they look so doable.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It also might be just a Falco thing. And what I was kind of alluding to with talking about Mango versus Falcon is that like I think the next Ginger matchup lockdown, I feel like will be Falcon because it's just sort of on the roadmap to becoming a great Falcon is not taking any of sorry, roadmap to becoming a great Falco is not taking any of Falcon's shit,
Yeah, yeah,
even
definitely.
at the top level.
I'd be interested in your opinion because I know that you've played both characters in tournament to a
Yeah.
reasonable extent. But I feel like the way that Ginger plays Falco is not necessarily the like Falcon killer in my mind. I think that Falcon in spacey matchups, he works so well when he's just completely shut down, which is like a rush down Fox. I think works really well versus Falcon because it kind of like shuts down the movement options.
Hmm.
But I also like think that that works really well for Falco, even though they have lasers. I think like there's a lot of Falcos that will just kind of like laser all the time because that like locks down the Falcon. But like you'll
Yeah,
see
it's
Mango and
actually
he'll do like a lot of both, and I think that that's what really kills it.
yeah, it's interesting because like what a Falcon actually wants sloppy. No, I wouldn't say sloppy, but Falcos that default to lasering is actually juicy, delicious food for a Falcon because for one, you can predict the timing so you can power shield easy if that's what you want to go for. Two, you can just read it and like full hop dare right over the laser or something like that. Like knowing if a laser is coming out is a death sentence for Falco, and so you've either got to be unpredictable or be, thinking one or two steps ahead with your movement after like turn up tilt or something like that,
Yeah, yeah,
to hit that to stop anything from going in. And from Falcon's perspective, it's like if they're doing it right, you're fucked. But if they mess up just a little bit and you're fast enough, which Falcons like S2J and Wizzy and just general top level Falcons, high level Falcons, they'll get you. Um, and part of being good at that matchup on the Falco side is just not having any empty frames and empty movement and whiffing up tilts. Like you miss an up tilt against Falcon, like trying to call him going in or something, you're getting grabbed and you're getting killed. That's just fucking it. Um, and so it's that fear that makes a good Falco, in my opinion, but it also makes when the plan goes wrong, it makes it really easy to panic and get scared because you'll get killed really fast. So
yeah. All right, so I got a question for you. Who do you think you would favor taking a set on Nun first? Let's say Nun plays 10 sets with two of these people. Who takes more sets, Ginger or Santi? I got my answer. So if you need some time to think about it, I can
yeah, that's
wax
crazy.
philosophic on this.
I think that oh, wow. I think Ginger takes more.
Yeah, I think he's lost. He lost their last set, I believe, which was at Smash and Splash. And I don't think Nun's ever played Santi. So like, I'm not trying to say like there's a correct answer. Yeah, I think Ginger. I mean, Ginger, I think is such a solid player and has been constantly improving. But man, Santi, I just think the way that Santi plays in general, and not even
Yeah, he's just Mango
specifically.
Junior.
Yeah, it's just like I think that style counters none very hard. I don't know. Like,
I
there's no
think if
correct
we're
answer to
talking in
this.
terms of like 10 straight sets, if it, like I have to think about this aspect, but like Nun's just gonna get. I feel like Ginger can play the same 10 ways, and Nun will play different in the later versions of those sets. And Santi and Nun, it actually might be a more even. I don't know. I think their skill differential is also worth noting because like Santi just doesn't practice as much, and there are a couple things that he's just not as crisp on. I would have to guess. But yeah, that's crazy. That's a crazy question. I would love to see Santi at a summit. Um,
I voted
just
for
for
him way back when he was
dude,
El Fuego.
El Fuego. Who's he now?
He's just Santi.
God,
Yeah, little
man,
Fumi to Santiago to El Fuego to
God, Santi's
Santi.
so sick. The meme in San Diego is that he doesn't own a copy of Melee.
Yeah, right. That's the thing. I don't even think he has it on. It's like not even the ISO.
Yeah, he just doesn't have the game. He just plays it when he goes places. I don't think that's true, but I like to believe in that. So
Yeah, I mean you can never tell with that guy.
yeah.
All right. So, any other like specific players who you're kind of surprised by or you're really impressed by?
Um, no, I think we named them. It's hard because there's only 16 players, right? And you like, I think Moki is one of the
Yeah.
sickest players in the world, and then he basically went 0-2 because it just happens.
Yeah.
Someone's got to,
I mean, this is
right?
a really tough like bracket, of course, like for any player. So definitely not crazy that someone gets 13th. I mean, because you got to go for 13th. If you got 16 good players, you're gonna get 4 good players who get 13th.
Like a Moki Spud best of 9, I think would have been a really fun thing to watch.
Hey, new format.
Because at the end of the
One
day,
best of 9.
I'm just I'm a viewer like the rest, and I just want to see cool things happen. You know,
Yeah, for sure.
storylines are cool, but I want to see wild shit. You know, that's all I want, dude.
Yeah, isn't that why we watch Melee?
Yeah, even matched wild shit.
All right, I got a question for you. Who do you think their stock rose the most from this tournament? So, like, if they did not attend this tournament, they would be further off from their inevitable summer rank or whatever. I've got 2 answers for this.
Um, balls. That's a good one. Probably IBDW and Axe.
Yeah, I think.
Because if you look at Wizzy's run, it wasn't like I don't think anyone was as surprised, but like Axe took the whole shit, and then yeah, IBDW beat HBox convincingly, and it was wild. And Mango.
Yeah, Cody's definitely my pick, but I actually don't think Axe gained a ton off of this win, oddly enough. Like, I think that's really good, and I think this probably solidifies him as somewhere around like 4 in the world, like for a ranking.
Hmm.
But yeah, my answer is going to be Triff. I think Triff has really proven that like the
Really?
Muti King win and the Amsa wins. I think it's hard to like I don't know. It's hard to see those wins and really downplay him, of course. But because he's from a different country, he's different in Europe, it's really hard to see European players on like the same level unless you're Armada or Leffen.
Yeah.
So him coming and
You have to
showing that
travel.
like he can beat Zane, he can beat IBDW, took Leffen to game 5. I think there's some really impressive stuff from him.
Yeah, it's a good point. I think it's interesting. I think Peach players and European players often leave our NA minds quicker than they should. And when you're both, it's even harder.
Yeah,
But
rough life for the Europeans.
it just sucks. He's got to travel. You have to travel like to be seen in this. Like it's just such a largely NA scene. So you gotta if you want to be noticed, you have to go to all this shit, and it's very expensive. It's just
Yeah,
hard.
definitely. I mean, he went to Big House and his entire like I don't think he It was a 24-hour venue, so I just don't think he got a hotel.
Oh God, yeah. See that's Melee, dude. God,
Yeah, that's
fuck this
Melee.
shit.
One day we'll get bought out by like Pfizer or
Elon,
something.
we'll fade Elon's shit memes just so we can catch the bag.
God, you know there's gonna be like mandatory clapping, but it'll be like $100,000 prize pool.
Yeah, fine, fine. We'll be like, we'll tweet at Elon. We'll be like, dude, you're so funny. Oh my God, did he really say this? And then blushing emoji, and we'll just gas him up, and we'll fucking do whatever he says, and he'll give us a shitload of money so we can support the people that work hard
Musk on
at
the
the
mic.
video game. God.
There's gonna be a new segment called Musk on the mic.
What's up, everybody? It's Musk on the mic. We're firing off into space, but the one with the grid lines in the back, because it's Final Destination, X is his name. Pikachu's crazy. Hey, why doesn't anyone play Roy? And then we have to fucking answer his question. We have to tell him.
The entire crowd has to explain this to him.
And we have to explain why Roy's bad. And he's like, but really though, like he could do it, right? And we'll be like, yeah, man, totally. Fuck yeah.
Then
Where's
he
the
he
check?
then makes a new rule and he says one. He like points to the like there's like 16 people or like top 8. He like points to one of them. He says, "All right, you got to go Barth now."
Yeah.
or you got to go Roy now. Sorry.
You gotta go, Roy. Do it.
Just like picks one by random. Sorry,
Elon's
Leffen, you're going
Funhouse.
Roy.
And then he's like, and Leffen's like, no. He's like, pay you $100,000. And Leffen's like, yes, sir, right away, sir.
All right, maybe this isn't like the greatest future that we can imagine. This like slowly got very Black Mirror. Hey.
Ayo. Fucking run it. Who cares? Let's just pay these boys for all the work they've done for once in our lives.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Speaking of which, I think that was the coolest thing about. Well, one of the coolest things about Axe winning was that he had his stream set up from
Yeah,
one of
dude.
the little like stream setup stations that you guys had, I guess.
Yep.
And did you see he's just like raking in like 3,000 subs or something like that?
Dude, I think he hit 5K from, I think he had
Really?
a base of like 1K or so, and he hit 5K during that session after winning Summit. And I was like, ooh, mama, that is pretty cool. I think he literally got more in from that than he did winning first.
That is nuts.
Prize pool, yeah. So very cool. I'm super glad that we had those for him and everyone else because Leffen used it a bunch. Yeah, it's just insane.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
like,
a huge perk.
one of the really positive things about the new venue, I guess you would call it, like it just seems like there's so much for the players now, like so much more. I guess logistically, there's probably more friendly setups than there were before.
Yeah, we got more friendly setups. We fucking scoured the SoCal like world for more CRTs. We got more Wii's. I think we have like 25 right now or something. No one was ever sort of couldn't find a setup, even with all the people there, like the VIPs, the coaches, the players. They also just like people are gonna miss the house, but but doing our job like for like filming, for production, for finding people, for organizing everything, it's 3 times easier. Like not even exaggerating. It's like it is so drastically easier that if we went back to the house, I would weep big tear. It is so, and that's why we were able to do the shit we did with like Bandersnatch. That's not easy to film. Every scene needs to be lit. Everything needs to be done correctly.
Oh, and
Everything
it
needs
was
to be
lit.
framed.
I will let you know.
You know, and like to do that in a house and like, ooh, forget it. And we can like build sets now. We don't have to like repurpose rooms in a house to like make a content piece. Like, I don't know, dude. It's just that gas.
Yeah, no, it seems sick.
Way easier. Oh.
Yeah. Well, we're running up on a little over an hour here. So, is there anything you want to speak your piece about?
So much. I have so much to say.
Speak to the 100 and 20 consistent listeners to this podcast.
Fuck yeah, dude. Look, I know we're at odds a lot, melee stats, slime. But
Are we? Is this this
but
is a thing?
I think the what brings us together is just cool combos.
Yeah, we
And
all want the best for Melee.
No, I don't got much to say. I'm just glad people watch. I'm glad people enjoyed it.
This is like staying together for the kids. This is our loveless marriage.
That's right. Yes, there's no love. I would say for anyone who's listening in general, like all the players, all the commentators, all the people that are involved in the scene, don't think for once that they don't read your comments and read Twitch chat and like hear you discussing them. This this applies to me just because I'm an obsessive fucking like douche, but like Leffen literally reads Reddit every time something happens. He just goes. He's done it on stream. It's not a bit. Everyone does it. So know that, and know, I guess, that the power that you hold in saying things about people that you care about or don't care about, or at the very least watch. It's very real. Everyone reads everything.
Yeah.
So
I actually have a really tiny story about that. One of my this is a young Wheat in the nascent points of his life. I think this was 2015. There was some Reddit thread about like Armada, and I really forget what it was. It was just like someone I think might have asked why does he go Fox versus Falcon on his streams, like when he's just practicing. I really don't remember why, but I was like. Oh, he probably feels like comfortable in the Peach Falcon matchup, so he just like I really don't remember what it was, and I went to bed and then I woke up the next morning and my inbox was crazy full, and I looked at it and I was like negative 200 or some shit like that because Armada had said like, listen. I'm from Europe. I don't get to practice much with people. Like, so you think I'm gonna be able to practice? It was crazy. He was just like going off on
insane.
me. I was just some like young person. I was just like, Armada's my favorite player. Like, I think I know why he does this. And no, I woke up to like just getting chewed out.
Yeah, that'll do it too. It usually only takes one. Yeah, dude, it's real. I mean, that was 2015. That was somewhat poverty days, but like it's still a fucking thing.
Yeah,
Because it's
for
like
sure.
at the end of the day, it's all like even Dota pros like they invented the term fiending. Bulba and Arteezy invented the term fiending is where they go and check Reddit threads after a game or rewatch with Twitch chat and they just read about themselves. Fiending is like no matter what level you are, people do it. There was that story about the fucking some basketball like manager or something that was posting under an account. I don't know.
Yeah, I
But
think that was Brian Colangelo from the Sixers.
athletes do it. Fucking musicians do it.
Like, I think there's some
reads
story about
comments.
KD, like how he has like a burner account.
Yeah. Just to talk shit and post covertly. It's real, and it's so much more real in what are like a small community like ours and stuff like that. So yeah, there's power there. Whether or not you want to use it for good or bad, it's there.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Slime, you're like one of the only people who I feel like I can talk with. What is it, like an hour 20 already or something like that? And I don't think we really scratched the surface. I think there's like so much more that we can do. But I think so far this has been a good episode. Obviously we can find you on Twitter at what is it, slime_machine.
Slime_machine. That's right.
And you were on
Twitch
Twitch.
At Slime IRL.
And
Fiction
Instagram.
thought I was making fun of him when I showed up in his stream with my Twitch name. He thought I was making fun of his, which is Fiction IRL.
What year was this?
Like it was like a couple months ago.
Okay,
no, it was like last month.
I can understand that. I think 2019 fiction, post 2018 fiction, I think is definitely a little more ready to bout. Like I think if you showed up in 2017 and you had Slime IRL, I don't think there would be much to talk about.
Yeah. He's ugh. Well,
He,
Godspeed to him.
he's an interesting person. He's a singular melee person. I dare you to point to me another Smasher that is as fiction is.
I know them, but they're just not as like sort of known because they're out there.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I
I
think
can.
that the qualifier is like being able to back your shit up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, in
It's
terms
a
of
very
gameplay.
specific like level of shit. Like this isn't Leffen shit talking. This is like a
Yeah,
very
dude.
specific.
It's like
It.
fucking MySpace, dude. Fucking
I
whatever.
I want
Look,
to I want to qualify this statement as saying that I am a fan of fiction, and his social media presence I think is interesting enough that I enjoy it. However,
yes.
he reminds me of Leffen if Leffen were talking through a locker that he was just shoved into.
To himself. They just don't get me, man. Oh
Yeah,
no.
like his fox and his personality. That's just Leffen in the locker.
I just wish he would stop posting LOL in all caps whenever he tweeted. Just be confident enough in what you say to not have to say LOL after. Hey, you want to go out sometime? LOL. It's like that doesn't just let it rip, dude. Let it all rip. It's your words. You own them.
Yeah, you're gonna have to have an intervention with him. Show him your style guide.
No, he should. I just want him. I wish the best. I just want him to have the best.
What a lovely closing sentiment.
Yeah, I wish fiction all the best. Sincerely.
Is there anything else that you want to plug? Like any other social media sites or just like in general? I guess Smash Summit VODs are up.
Smash Summit VODs. Watch Mario Party League Episode 2, The Lost Tapes. That's up on the Bad Melee channel. Support Melee Don B as he struggles to find his purpose in life through League of Legends. Support International Melee. Just turn on all your streams, man. It helps everyone if you just watch. It means it changes everything. All Melee streams all the time. Just turn them on.
All right, that's a better sentiment is to just like have some sort of crazy wall of TVs with every stream playing.
Yeah, do it. Do the Lucius Fox. It's fine.
The Blank Check. Do you ever seen that movie? There's an old Disney Channel movie.
Yeah,
I think there was a wall of TVs in that.
Dude, ooh, you just ignited my reptile brain. Mamma mia.
Well, we'll get into that after. Yeah, so he just said where you can follow him for Melee Stats. You can follow us at Melee Stats Pod on Twitter. You can follow me at gimme.wheat. And if you want to help support us, you can always give us money over at patreon.com/Melee Stats.
Smash that Patreon, boys.
Helps out with the podcast, helps out with When's Melee, helps out with any other articles that might go on to meleestats.co, our website. And of course, we'll try to have fun lists and stuff popping up every now and then.
Boomer list.
Best boomers.
Yeah.
Best boomers coming out. Only if we hit $100 a month.
Let's go. Get there.
I think there is a drunk stream promised if we hit 100 a month, which we were very close to for a little bit, and then we kind of moved further back away. But
watch out for taxes on that shit. It'll get you.
Yeah, you had some issues with the IRS, didn't you?
Yeah, that's why I'm streaming every Monday.
Hey, follow you on
Twitch
every Monday.
Every Monday, I review and explain why they're funny and shit. So.
All right, that's good stuff. All right, so this seems to be about it for episode 13 of the Melee Stats Deep Dives episode. And classically, I have no idea how to end a podcast, so I'm going to defer to you. How do you think I should do this? You hosted your own podcast. 2, some may say.
What? How do you do it? You go, thanks so much for watching, but we're not watching, we're listening. We'll just see. Is it weekly?
Sure, could be.
We'll see you next week.
All right, everyone. See you next week. Yeah, that'll do it. All right. Thanks, everyone.